Hi everyone, this is Steve with Otaku Henshin. We just got in this week our Uchu Sentai Kyuranger items, and I wanted to start doing some reviews for you guys. As you can see, here is the deluxe Seiza blaster. We did get in some other Narikiri items and the mecha as well, the Kureno and the others that work alongside with it. You can see it's showing here on the box. We have the Shishi Kyutama and the actual Seiza blaster here. Up at the top here, it's saying the Kyutama series, which is what essentially anything that has a Kyutama on it is going to be listed as. And then here it says Henshin Controller Deluxe or DX Seiza Blaster. Obviously we have Shishi Red here on the front, and then if we tip this, you can see everybody else at the top there. And then on the side we can see everyone here. Once again, Shishi Red on the side on this one. On the back here, we just see pretty much they're just showing what the different functions will do. Obviously here is the Kureno, all of the items that go along with it, showing that the Kyutama does work in those. Then on the bottom, we do have another shot of all the Kyurangers here. So let me go ahead and open this up and we can take a closer look at the actual item itself. So let's take a look here at the Seiza blaster. You can see it does have a little wrist strap that honestly as an adult I feel like you don't really need it, but I'm sure a kid might drop it otherwise. As an adult I can definitely get my hand in here, you can see, but it is a pretty tight fit. Just see underneath, here's where the battery part is here. It's just 3 AAAs. You can see there's a button here to fire from. And then we also have the trigger up here that when you pull this down, fire it like that. Take a look at the side of it here. Obviously here's where the Kyutama goes. We'll take a look at that a little bit closer in a minute. The front of that. Then we do have our little switch here. Once it is turned on, you do have the firing options. So you can see they do have different sound effects. But they both do light up with that red light. Before we go any further, let's take a look at the Kyutama now. And with this, you can see it obviously looks like a globe. And when you twist the Kyutama here, we will get our lion face here, and obviously that's how the other ones work. You can see this is the 01 Kyutama, the Shishi. Doesn't seem to want to get really focused on where you can see that 01. There we go. And what I think is really neat about these, just as a Precure fan as well, that they have these little bumps at the bottom, and that's how the Seiza blaster and I'm sure the other items are going to know which one that you have. Taking a look here again, you can see that there's these little pins that get pushed down, and based on which one you put in, that's pretty much how it works, just like with the Sweets Pack review for the Precure items that I did just recently. Just so you guys know what I'm talking about, you can see right here where they have the little pins, and on the back how they have these little bumps that push down into it. So you can see I do have it on now, and as far as putting the Kyutama in there, you can see how it kind of comes down here for it to align with that. You do want to push in as hard as you can because it doesn't actually snap in very well unless you push hard. Now it'll actually keep doing this music for a while. You can press either of the firing buttons to shut that off, or you can just go ahead and use a different mode. So let's go ahead and do the transformation by pushing it forward. And again, we'll get the music playing. This time we do want to press one of the firing buttons. So there was our transformation. Now as far as the sounds again with the blaster, we still have our same generic sounds. You can, however, if you hold in on this one, it will go into this mode. just kind of like a fuzzy sound. I don't really know exactly what it does. If you press the Q-Tama in any direction, it just does what it normally would do. And if you press the firing buttons, it'll turn it off. So I don't know if it's maybe just some kind of feature we haven't seen yet in the show, and we're only 2 episodes in. I don't know, maybe it's some kind of scanning mode. I guess we'll find out. And then if you actually hold in this one, gives you some music again, and it sounds like you're flying, and it seems like this is to control it by pressing it in any direction. Again, to shut off this mode, just press one of the firing buttons again. Now, as far as calling the Voyager, let's go ahead and hit to the left here. And again, we're just going to fire the button. And then we do have the docking feature for when they're combining. And when we're doing that, we get a different mode there as far as with pushing the Q-Tama again. Firing again as well will close out of that. And finally, by pushing back, we have the attacks. There's 2 of them actually, by pushing back once and pushing back twice. So let's do the first one. And the second one is the Galaxy one. Let's go ahead and do that. Obviously, that was a much louder explosion sound. Now, as far as taking it off, we'll just go ahead and I find it easier to just push down on one. Because if you push both down, then a lot of times it seems to fire out. But that's pretty much what it does. Let me go ahead and take this back off. So obviously the other Q-Tamas do work with this, and what I will do is as I go over each new one after this video, I will pull the Seiza Blaster back out to show you guys how it functions with it, and I'll also, for the other items, show that as well. So as far as the design of this thing, I really think it's a neat item. I love the Henshin devices that are attached to the arm like this, and I think that the one firing button, you know, it is fine to just have the one, but it is kind of neat to give that extra firing mode like this. It just kind of feels nice when you actually have it on doing that. The Q-Tama concept themselves, I mean, they don't do much on their own, obviously, but I still think it's a really neat idea as far as how they work, not only with the transformation devices, but also with the mechs as well. The one thing that I kind of like, but then kind of don't like, is as I was mentioning about those pins for it to know which Q-Tama you're using. As it happened with the Precure devices, you can kind of hack, as they call it, by pressing down various ones on your own and finding sounds in the device for stuff that has not yet been released. So it's kind of neat that you can research it and find new sounds, but then it's also going to give you spoilers most likely for later in the show. So it's kind of, depending on whether you care or not about spoilers, you know, it may be a bad thing, not necessarily a good thing that you can do that. And because you have the ability to do that, even if you don't want to do it, there's going to be all kinds of people on the internet doing it, and then you're going to have to try to avoid all of those spoilers that they find out. So, you know, it really depends on whether you care about that or not, but that does kind of cause an issue for some people who do. As mentioned, we do have these for sale on our website, otakuhenshin.com, and we have all of the other Kyuranger items that were just recently released with the start of the show. Just keep in mind, if you are interested in picking up one of these or any of the other Kyuranger items, that there are only so many left, as these have been for sale on the website for a little while now. We definitely will be getting in all of the upcoming items, and as far as the current ones, if we do happen to sell out, we are going to put in orders for more, so don't worry. if they are out of stock, we will be continuing to stock them as long as Bandai is going to print them. If you're a fan of the Kamen Rider series, we do also stock the Kamen Rider X8 items, and just recently with these Kyuranger items, we got in the Juju Burger Gashet and the Gashet Gear Duel. We'll definitely be continuing the Kyuranger video reviews, and we are going to start doing some X8 ones. We had wanted to do those a lot longer ago, but it just never ended up happening, so I think what we're going to do is kind of jump ahead, since I'm sure a lot of people are not going to want to bother watching Gamer Driver reviews, so we're just going to start taking a look at the newer items as they come out. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to keep up with all of these reviews, and of course check us out at otakuhenshin.com. As I mentioned, where not only can you find tokusatsu items, but also various anime figures as well, such as Nendoroids and Figmas. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr, and those links will be in the video description. Thanks for watching, you guys, and see you next time.